So why would you want to come here to the headquarters in Beverly Hills? How can I help you? How can my business partner and I, Alex, help you? Well, we're doing a series of events at our headquarters in Los Angeles here, Beverly Hills, New York City, Manhattan, Miami, and London. Those are our four main headquarters. And we're opening up for one day seminars, call them mentor little boot camps. One day you come in and we focus on you walking away by the end of the day with a tangible plan, website, a funnel, a social media plan, how to grow your social media, an actual scaling, everything you need to scale. Or if you're starting a new business, how to take an idea and scale the new idea. Me and Alex have done over $1 billion in sales. We will be there, and we will have ourselves and our top employees there working with you hands-on for a day. We do it for an afternoon. It's not a full 12-hour day. It gets too exhausting and we really don't need that much time. So we're gonna put a link below. Come grab a seat. We can only do usually about 40 people per event. We've tested, I've done them really large. I've had 500 people and I've had 5 people, and we now know how to do these mentor, training boot camps for you, these mentor master classes. And so yeah, if you click the link below or you look below, you'll see the schedule of events. These fill up very quickly. We did, I don't know, a handful of them last year, 5 or 6. And the areas that we're gonna cover: e-commerce, how to invest your money profitably as a business owner, what to invest in, the tools. We're talking about hiring, scaling. We're talking about building out your website, getting you up if you're doing e-commerce on Shopify or ClickFunnels. We have one of the top ClickFunnels websites of all time, I think, by revenue. We'll be talking about video advertising like I'm doing now, growing your YouTube, your Instagram, growing your social media presence, even if you don't want to be in front of the camera. One of the things that people get a lot of value from is us being there, being able to run your ideas by us. If you know me, I'll give you a blunt opinion. There was a guy here came to one of these and I saved him $1 million. He was about to launch an idea that would have cost him $1 million. We did a quick test and we realized it wasn't gonna work. So for some of you, it's gonna be the best money you ever spent. It's not just finding out what you should do, but it's also avoiding mistakes. As Alex and I have built businesses for over a decade, digitally, online, and done over 1 billion in sales and spent over 500 million bucks. That's a conservative number on social media marketing and online marketing. We've made a lot of mistakes. So one of the biggest things we can do for you is just pass on. Don't do this. This doesn't work. I see people every day wasting incredible amounts of money. So this is pennies on the dollar. When you look at the price below, it's pennies on the dollar for the value you can get from just one little tip. But also, if you have an idea, let's figure out how to scale this thing. How can we get a minimum viable product up quickly? How can we use polls? How can we use a small amount of video and Facebook and Google and YouTube ads to test the product concept? How do we develop the pricing structure? Should it go low? Should it go high? Should you try to be a Ferrari? Should you try to be, a Toyota? Should you try to be a Walmart? Or should you try to be a Louis Vuitton? That pricing is important. Then we'll talk extensively. And I tell everybody, bring your laptop. We're gonna build stuff while you're here at this one-day event. We're gonna build it. So you actually walk away. You're gonna walk away with a plan. We give you a 3-ring binder which has kind of our proprietary secrets. It's outlined out for you to go through. So it's structured, you're going through it. We're there, we have a Q&A session. We have fun too, but you're there not just for fun. That's not the main point. Let's get some work done. I am telling you this, as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 19. The things that I've learned from mentors have been so priceless that, and when I say priceless, I mean that in the truest sense of the word. Like, I cannot put a price on it. Go back to my 5 first millionaire mentors. If they would have said, Ty, it's, $100 grand. Now, I didn't have any money back then, but in hindsight, if I was back in a time machine and I had to pay 100 grand, I would do it. The more you learn, the more you earn. Every dollar I've spent on learning from people who have real deep domain expertise has been a dollar well spent. And every time I try to skip that stage, I regret it. So I can remember doing an $8 million mistake. It was probably 2014. I launched an online digital product, and I didn't get the pricing structure right. And for a year later, we ran a price split test. I left $8 million on the table. And so I want to show you, as we say, we'll get into pricing, we'll get into promotions, we'll get into the digital delivery. How do you build the website? How do you optimize the website? For those of you who have agencies, we're going to be getting into building out your agency. This is big. A lot of you have gone through my social media marketing, the Amazon program, you've gone through the e-com agency, you've gone through the Airbnb HSMC. We'll be talking about real estate. I bring in special guest speakers to each event, so it's not just me and Alex and my team, but we always have a couple surprises. One of them that I did a year or two ago, I brought in a billionaire, just popped in and gave it just, the whole group was spellbound by the advice there. They didn't even, my billionaire friend didn't even know that he was gonna be speaking. And I said, just share with people what you wish you had learned. And people came up to me and said, just that 15-minute talk from that person who had been through so much in business was worth the whole cost. So the logistics are pretty simple. We do them in big cities. You're responsible for travel. I don't want to be a travel agent, honestly. So, but nowadays, travel's cheap. Travel's cheap. We do them in fun locations: Los Angeles, Manhattan, Miami, London, all of them. We try to spread it out a little bit. I wish I could spread it out a little more, but this is realistic for us now, these 4 places. So let's just go through the who, what, where, when, why. The who. Who should come to this? Generally, it's people who either have a brand new product concept or people who already have a concept and are trying to scale. Okay? We get in between. Get people, some people who have a 9-to-5 job. We get some people who are doing 50 million in revenue, but on average, it's in between that. It's people stuck at 6 or 7 figures that can't scale, or people launching a new product and want to build it right. So that's the who should come to this. Where I've already covered. Let's talk about the logistics. When you come into the big city, don't need to rent a car. Use Uber and use hotels tonight or kayak. I recommend. You can get hotels for a couple $100, and it's only 1-day event. So you come in the night before, maybe 2 nights in a hotel, maybe just 1 if you want to come in and out. Okay. So who, what, where, when. They pretty much start around noon, and they go from noon to 6 or 7 o'clock. Once you're at the event, we provide food. Okay, we'll have just some foods and snacks. You'll need to have breakfast at your own at the hotel. Who, what, where, when, why? Why should you come? Because making mistakes is expensive. Because picking the brain of people who have already done it before is always better. Like Richard Dawkins says in The Selfish Gene, one of the things that makes humans different, he said, we can be simulation machines, meaning we don't have to actually make the mistake. We don't actually have to have the success at first to learn from somebody who's already had success. It's the whole point of mentoring. It's what's wrong with the school system. You only really learn from people who have done it, and you only really learn by doing. That's why we have hands-on. When you're here, we do hands-on stuff. You got your bring your laptop. We got high-speed internet connection. Let's build stuff. Let's fix stuff. Let's get some ads up. Let's get a video recorded like this. I do this too. Get you to learn video marketing is the future. Trust me, I've done over 2 billion minutes of my video marketing ads watch. I think it's the most in history, but it's a lot. We'll talk about podcasts. We'll talk about Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram stories. We'll talk about Shopify, ClickFunnels, Amazon. We'll talk about how to invest your money and reinvest your profits. We'll talk about getting accountants. We'll talk about how to hire, whether to hire in-house or use websites like Upwork. We'll talk about hiring in locally, and we'll talk about hiring, offshore. We'll talk about alternative ways to do your staff, whether it's WeWork, whether it's people working from home. We'll talk about phone sales. Sales are so important. We'll give you actual scripts and templates that we're doing. So that's an important thing. Why would you want to come to this? You want the templates. You want the blueprints of what's worked before. So who, what, where, when, why. Did I miss one? How? How do you get here? You click the link below. As quickly as you put in your credit card, we have a money-back guarantee. If you come to the event and you say, this was not helpful, we will send your money back. Don't worry, I've been doing refunds. I think college should be giving people refunds when it doesn't fulfill its purpose. So I want to live up to that for my own programs. I didn't go to college. These are not college degrees. If you want to learn from entrepreneurs, from successful CEOs, from successful entrepreneurs, this is the place. If you want to learn from professors, Harvard, Wharton, local community college, but this is cheaper than that and less and more time efficient. So that's another reason to come. Man, time, you can come, you can get a 1-year MBA from a professor who may or may not know these things, who probably hasn't done $1 billion in sales, who probably hasn't spent even $1 million on video advertising. The future is here. Amazon is real, Airbnb is real, Uber is real, Old is disappearing, Sears is bankrupt, Toys R Us is going bankrupt. The cycles are moving quicker and quicker. We're going to be talking about those cycles, how to catch them. The most money, the highest profit margins comes from catching the trends. That's another thing we'll talk about. And I talk about things that I can't necessarily cover on my social media just because I don't want to give it out to anybody. So it's a more private setting. Dress code is business casual. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to wear a suit, but you know, don't come in a bathing suit and a tank top, just to save others from having to see that. No offense, but yeah, I think I've answered everything. So, like I said, how do you get in this? If you click below and it, for any reason, it says the event's sold out, go on the wait list. We'll do an email wait list. We'll put the 4, now, we don't know, I kind of announce them as I travel, but you can see at least the next one, okay? If it's not in a city near you, look, I'm gonna tell you this. These are all important cities that you should travel to a few times a year. Los Angeles is an important city in the world. New York, Manhattan, important. Miami's important, but also a great place to go, especially when it's cold where you are. And London is the hub of Europe. So take the opportunity, even if the next event's far from you, just travel there. I love travel. It's been proven over and over that your creativity goes skyrockets through travel. It's pattern interruption. Anyway, if you have any more questions, there's a phone number on my website. You can call in, send an email. The simplest way, grab a seat at the next mentor boot camp. You know, these are master classes taught by people who have actually done it. We'll show you our formulas. We'll share things we can't even share on social media, don't want to share them. We could share them, but we don't want to. But we're willing to do it for a small group. We keep the group small. We found the optimal size. So I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. Click the link below, grab your spot. Money back guarantee. Worst case, you come, we lose. That's what I tell people. The refund, you can even get a refund after you come to the event. Sure, you'd be out a day, but I promise you this, you'll learn stuff. You will learn stuff. You see Alex and I, we just built Mentor Box. You know, we put 100 grand of our own money in 2016. Recent valuations over $70 million. We'll show you how we bootstrapped that business. We didn't bring it, now we're bringing in institutional capital, but we did it, you know, without that. If you want to know how to raise capital, Alex and I have raised over $80 million of capital from high net worth individuals and institutions and banks. So many things we're happy to share with you. Alex has a PhD, if you like people with credentials. He dropped out of Berkeley Business School, his MBA, and starts his first company, Zeusk, does over 175 million in revenue. So Forbes put me on as the top 10 business influencer in the world right now. So between us and the other people we're gonna bring in, I think you're gonna get a lot of quality and not cliches and not things that are in business books. You're gonna get what I believe is, well, it's what we're doing right now. It's the most cutting edge thing we can do because we share with you what we're doing right now in our businesses. So click the link. Look forward to meeting you in person.